Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are here to review Navillera Season 1, Episode 1. And I try to honor the word Navillera, not even a show, just the word Navillera, because whenever I think of it or read that word, I just think of black and white ballroom dancing and I don't know, just fancy all around, and then you have a lady in the back in front of a piano in a ruby red dress singing to Navillera, whatever that may be, and a rose. So today I will be today's rose for the review. So why don't we get into it? So in the beginning, it starts off in a funeral, and then there's a man named Duck Chill, and he's with his friends, and they're talking about life, hobbies, and regrets, and what to do in life after retirement. So then it had Duck Chill thinking. Duck Chill is watching a young man dance ballet, and it had Duck Chill just thinking to himself, and he just left, and then the scene cuts into, again, Duck Chill walking across a pavement road, and he's headed to Gracious Gracious Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Don't mind me, I have my notes here because this was a lengthy episode. This it was like a movie. So yeah, see his friend Gilsuk, and he was just there to see him, and then that's when it just cuts into a scene where he's talking about life and how all he spent his life doing was selling boats. And he never built a boat, ironically. He never built a boat and he never sailed, but it was always his dream to sail and build a boat. But he felt like life just it didn't work that way for him. So as he was saying that to Duckchill, he was telling him about, do you have any long cherished regrets? And then Duckchill just sat there and just listened to him, kind of like a therapist, and didn't really tell him what was on his mind. He just came to speak, like just to listen to Gulsuk talk. So that was that. And then the scene cuts into a birthday party, and the birthday party is for none other than Duck Chill, and he had his family there. They were just celebrating, and then one question came up was, "What is your wish?" And then Duck Chill was going to use this moment to, I guess, tell his family was to start a hobby or live his dream, which is to play, dance, dance to do ballet, not dance, not play, to do ballet. And then next thing you know it, before he could get the words out, his wife interrupts and tells the kids, "Oh, his wish is for you guys to be healthy and to come back to see him and for everyone to be healthy and for him to have a healthy life." It's two simple wishes. It's the same wish every year. And then the family was just like, "Yeah." And then Duckchill, unfortunately, he didn't even get to say his wish, or then he said, "Okay, whatever." So he said, "Yeah." What do you mean what he's gonna do with his life? He's wearing a suit. I was like, I guess he's a businessman. And then the sat there defending the wife of the younger brother. So they have three kids. They got three kids. Yeah, the older son came at the second son saying, "Hey, what are you gonna do?" The other wife, "Girl, don't worry about it." And unfortunately, he couldn't get that out because his children were arguing about their life and how they're living their lives, and basically not living your life to its potential, but mainly living your life to meet ends meet, if that makes sense. And then they have a granddaughter, Unho. She got a new job, and that became the focus of the party because the grandfather's wish was for, according to the wife, everyone to be okay. So therefore, Unho needed the spotlight, I guess. And you can tell she didn't want the spotlight because she wanted to be about her grandfather, but they were talking about her getting a new job, and they celebrated that at this man's birthday party. Foul. It'd be your own people. And then next thing you know it, the another son came in late, and girl. He came in, and everyone in the party was dressed appropriate. They were dressed, to the nines. This son comes in a trench coat, looking beaten up, and he sat down, and he goes, "Happy birthday, Dad! Congrats!" And then he sits down, and then the family's looking at him like, "What are you doing with your life?" And then the older brother said to this brother, like, this older brother's coming for everyone's neck at this party. So then the younger brother didn't say nothing. He just said, he was like, "I'm here to celebrate Dad's 70th birthday, and that's about it, point blank, period. I'm gonna eat this food and mind my business." And then the mom was like, "Yeah, everyone, your father's wishes for everyone to be happy." And I'm sitting here like, come on. Come, is it is this happiness? So then the older brother again attacked the youngest one, was like, "You know what? I see how you are. You're just a loser." And then he then attacks his daughter, Unho. You know what? You better keep working hard, get a job, so you don't end up like your uncle who's a lowlife. I was like, I know you are not coming for everyone at this table. He wanted the smoke. And I was just like, okay, you know what? We're going go, you know what? We gonna make it simple. And then the youngest brother said to the older brother, "You know what? I don't understand your obsession with family because you're sure not acting like it." And then he got up and left. And then the mother was just like, "Okay, take care." And I was just like, this is so dysfunctional. I was like, whoa. Mind you, this was like a 2-minute scene. I was like, there's a lot going on. So then I'm like, all right, this is hey. So then the story picks up with the other character, which turns out to be the character that Dukchul was watching doing ballet in the beginning. His name is Cherok. And then Cherok was visiting his mother's grave. And then while he was visiting his mother's grave, he had memories of telling his mom he was going to audition, and then his father's getting out of jail soon. So there was that was quickly like mentioned. So that was that. So I'm guessing his mom died recently because this is the same national audition that is coming up, and his father is about to leave jail on the same day. So I figured his mom died recently. So as you can tell, we learned that his father is in prison, about to be released. But yeah, then the storyline follows Chero. He works at a restaurant part time. He works at a restaurant part time. Server. He's a part time server. And the storyline follows with that as he's working part time, and you can tell that he's always late because he's working he does ballet during the day, and then it causes to overlap with his schedule as a part time server, waiter, and then he had a colleague, we're gonna call him Blondie. So tell me why Blondie came up, and he came in for crew. They just came, they were on one. When they came, they were on one. So then they came, and then they sat down, ordered their food. So then Chedok's co-worker was like, "Oh, do you know him? Like, why is he eyeing you?" In my mind, I'm sitting here thinking he want him because, like, I don't know. He walked. You got blonde hair. You come on. But you know what? We not doing this. So Blondie comes in, and he's just like just ready. Just with an attitude. He came in stank with an attitude. Sits down with his friends, eats food, and next thing you know, as soon as he's done, gets up, walks up to the cash register, and Cherok is there with his colleague, whose name we still have yet to learn. And then he goes and says, "Yo, dad is about to leave prison." And then pin drop. Magically, the hustling, bustling kitchen just pin drop silence. The chefs broke their neck. They were like, "Hey, yo, what? Who leaving prison? Hey, yo, who leaving prison?" And then everyone just like magically then whispers. And I was just saying, they're like, "Are we really doing this?" I was like, Blondie came for 2 meals because, like, I want to knock them out. Okay, I want to serve that, but you know what? That's not. Chedok is better because he has something for that. So then he sat there and didn't say anything, and then the colleague was like, "Oh, sir, your total will be," and he goes, "I am leaving," and he just turns around and leaves. I was sitting there like, no one's gonna stop him. Because I know he didn't pay because you came to the cadre. Nobody stopped him. Until Cherok just said his name, Hobum. And he turned around and then he was like, "Aren't you ashamed?" To Cherok. I think Cherok just called him out to say, "Hey, pay your bill." Hubum, pay your bill. And then Blondie was like, no, aren't you ashamed? Your father ruined people's lives. And I'm wondering, what crime did his father do to be in prison? And what lives did he ruin? Because you'll think it intertwined it with Blondie. So Blondie was like, he ruined lives, and you're his son. You're going to ruin lives as well. And then he said again, I'm leaving. So he turns around and he leaves. And I was just like, okay. So then I guess the head of the kitchen was just like, Chirok. And then he goes, I will handle their bill. I was just astonished because either way, if you weren't going to handle it, best believe, what do you call it? The head of the kitchen, he was going to take it off your check anyway. So I'm proud that we happy that they got that squared out and situated. And then we get into the next scene where it begins with a ballet recital where it's called Lake Swan. It was a performance. And that's when both our character storylines are, overlapping. We have Duck Chill and we have Cherok in the room watching watching a performance. But the way they juxtaposed, like the way they positioned Cherok getting ready to go to the recital, you would think that he was in the recital because he was getting ready, like to dance. But he was actually there to watch it with his instructor and his ex-wife. I'm gonna call them the ex-spouse duo because they come at each other, but they work together, but they're not together. Take that information how you please. So then he gets there, he's watching it, and then Doug Cho watches it and he feels inspired, and then he just wants to be a part of the dancers. So he really enjoyed the performance. Meanwhile, Chero couldn't really necessarily enjoy it because it was more so for a studying session because he was with his instructor and his ex-wife, and they were actually there. It turns out at the end of the performance, their daughter was the one in the Lake Swan performance. And I can tell that the daughter was so happy to see her father because she was asking him where we're going to eat, where we're going to after the performance. And then the father said, before he could even get a restaurant name out, the ex-wife comes in and she goes, are you hungry? And the daughter goes, no. And she goes, so why are you talking to your father about where to eat? We're going home. And I was like, it's like that. And I was like, okay. So they left, and then that's when everyone went their separate ways. Chido took the bus, and along with Duck Chill, and you know how production, they just like to make it seamless. So they were both on the same bus, but magically have different stops. His father calls him to let him know that his friend got him a job in Daechon. And then on top of that, he's not going to be seeing him. He's literally off to the city. Like he's just yeah, I guess he's just off to the city. So then here's Chitto just all emotional. He was like, "Is that all you have to say to me? You just got out of jail, and instead of saying hi, my son, I miss you, it's I'm going to Daytron." So then his father saying, "That's all I can say." Click, and then I was like, "It's like that." I was like, "Oh, this show is something." So then the father clicks the phone, and then that's when Chitto tried to call him back, and the phone was ringing, and I was like, "You can call what do you call those? Like those payphones? You could call back a payphone?" I was like, "Whoa!" And that payphone looked it looked dated, but yet we then followed Dukcho, who went back to the rehabilitation center to see his friend Giljuk, Gilsuk. And it was an emergency. We're gonna move along. The letter basically was of Gilsuk talking about being intoxicated with the ocean and wanting to be a part of the ocean because he sold ships all his life. And that night, he woke up in the middle of the night and he was hearing to the ocean, the sounds of the waves of the ocean. And then that's when he ripped out, it looked like a manual, a page of a manual, and he starts to fold it up into a paper boat. And then he says, "I'm going to the ocean." Gets to his balcony, and then he just takes his paper boat and he says to it, "Forward you go." And then he like tosses it. And then ever since then, he tosses it, and it's like hysteria because the scene, it seems like he's like there's the ocean, there's the water, and he tosses it and you think it's gonna land in the water, and in reality it was just by the way, we've never got his name still to this point. Unless we didn't get his name. So we got his instructor to tell him he went to see his father on release day, but he didn't get to meet him. And then the instructor continues to berate him and telling him that he feel that he doesn't want this. And then Cheto just looked at him, looking at him, and then he left the scene. And then we go back to Dukchul's story, and it begins with his memory as a child. And he was watching someone play. Why do I keep saying play? Like I'm gonna say they play ballet. So then we started the next storyline with Dukchill's childhood memory where he was watching someone do ballet and he was enamored as a child. And then that's when his father pulled him away, and then he started scolding him, telling him, "Do you want to be a boy who does makeup and dance?" And then he looked at his father and says, "Yes, I want to be a lake." He asked his father, "What's a lake swan?" And his father was just like, "You're not doing that because if you were to do ballet, you're going to be living in poverty for the rest of your life. And is that something you want? I think not." And then that's when he just pulled him away, and then the memory ended there. So then the two storylines finally cross over where Chidok finally confronts Dukchill for watching him practice, and Dukchill replies with, "I want to do ballet." And then Chidok just looks so disgusted. He was like, he said, no. And then took him to his instructor. By the way, we finally learned the instructor's name, which is Ki Sung Ju. Okay, we're gonna call him the instructor, and then whenever there's a scene with him and his ex-wife, we're gonna call him the ex-spouse duo because they work together. So then Ki Sung Ju shoots down Duck Cho's dream, telling him, "I'm not teaching." He was like, "I don't do ballet no more." He says, "I don't teach ballet. I just, I run practices and that's it." So then Duck Cho said, "Okay, can you at least let me watch?" So he allowed him to watch for the first couple of sessions. And then at one point, Duck Chill surprised the instructor with a clean, shiny floor. And then that's when the instructor got upset and then sat him down and said, "Hey, you cannot watch anymore." Don't know why. So then we're fast forwarding where the instructor catches Duck Chill watching his students practice. And then that's when he confronted him and asked him, why do you want to do ballet? And he told him he felt like his entire life all he's done was work to make ends meet and to support his family, that he was too busy to even think about his dreams of doing ballet. And then that's when the instructor had an idea, and he put the two together, Dukchil and Cherok, and told them, you're going to be teaching this man ballet. And that's when the two, like, Cherok was so disgusted. He was like, first he said I can't dance, and now I got to teach this man how to dance. So the storyline ends there with Unho, who's going to intern at Cherok's restaurant. And basically, we just see a little introduction to her just messing up on the job. And then that's when we fast forward to the next scene of Ki Sung-jun, the instructor, telling Cherok, yeah, this is finalized. You guys are doing ballet. And the episode ends there. So I personally will rate this episode, I'm gonna say a B-, because it was sentimental, it was feel good, but it was very, very choppy. But that's what every first episode, because you got to introduce like a lot of characters in such a short time to get the story going. So yeah, the episode gets a B- in my book. So let me know in the comments down below what other shows you like reviews for, and thank you for watching.